Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking to you about Rodeo, which is an album by Travis Scott, and how it can compare to like U.S. history. Um, Basically, it's his first studio album, and in it there are lots of parts, like speaking parts, that are really well done, well written. They're like very poetic, and it kind of gives you a nice break from just like straight music, and it adds a really good concept of like Travis Scott like growing up and becoming like what he was meant to be, which is like this rapper. And I think it can compare to like America growing up and becoming like a great nation. So first, I'm gonna kind of adjust the thesis of the first chapter, which is 500 years ago, a European explorer stumbled on the Americas. This dramatic accident forever altered the future of both the old world and new, and of Africa and Asia as well. I'm gonna change it to on September 4th, 2015, Travis Scott released an album. This dramatic release forever altered the future of trap music and rap as a whole. So the album is called Rodeo, and it's arguably the best trap album of all time. And America is obviously one of the biggest discoveries of all time. And so we're just gonna go song by song through this. In the first song, Travis has a poetic introduction that's kind of like about his life and how he decided to like leave his mom and like just go off and try to be a rapper, try to do what he wanted to do. So it says, at this moment, the one known as Jacques, which is his real name, turned to Scott. So he's like going from a child to an adult. Chose to jump off his mama porch and lead the stampede of lost souls. So like he's really just like leaving her and like trying to lead other people that don't know what they want to do with their lives into this kind of like area where they can do whatever they want. They have the freedom to do what they want. And that's kind of what the European explorers did when they discovered America. They came over and they were like, all right, we're going to stay here. We're going to like jump off our mama's porch, which is like leaving Europe, and we're going to try to just like do what we want where we have freedom to choose. He then says, in the middle of their metamorphosis, not quite through with their journey, they haven't made it to wherever they're going to be in life. But wherever it is better than here. So I kind of took that as like wherever America is, like whatever position it's in when you pass away, um, it's like it's still like changing, and you don't make it to wherever you're gonna be in life, or wherever the country's gonna be, but wherever it is better than what it was before. So it's just about like making America better, basically. The next is the story of the bastard was never told. The soul of the bastard was never sold. Um, so that is Christopher Columbus, as I kind of interpreted it as Christopher Columbus. So his story was never really told to us when we were kids. We always heard he just like went over there, discovered America, and then like it was all good. But he really like um, abused and raped many of the Native Americans and really treated them poorly. And the soul of the bastard was never sold. So like, but you can't really deny that like he did what he wanted to do, and he was very determined. And so it says, will he survive or will he fold up? So will he make it, or like will he just kind of be like, oh wow, this is too much, like a new country? That can also be, will America survive or will it just kind of fold up and, um, not work out? Living like a Bronco, lifestyle wild and untamed, because America at a point you really couldn't tell what was going to happen next. It was just kind of because you had all these different groups mixed together, you never knew how they would clash and how they would work together. Um, Misfits get the chance to say you to the ones that said you. Tell them doing your thing. So it's like the ones that are being persecuted, the kind of misfits in Europe, can't wait to like look at Europe and be like, yeah, now we're better than you, kind of like that, because Europe is the one that said like persecuted them in the first place. And then it says, who leads the charge of this young mob? La Flame, he hears in his head, the world is yours. So who leads it? America. No one really leads it. It's just kind of like a group. And then La Flame is Travis Scott's alter ego, but it can also be like America. So it's like America, the world is yours. And then in the end of that song, it says, let your ambition carry you, which is pretty self-explanatory. And then the next song says, from the home that he knew till he roamed where he at, and the phone break up, unknown wake up, several one night stands, hung up phone break up. So it's like the struggles. He like left the home he knew, so they left Europe, and until he roamed where he is, which is America, the new world. And then, but like there are all these problems with it, and like things are going wrong. And then it says, if he fall, will he fly? So sure wouldn't take much for you to find out. Jump if you took the plunge. If not, we're in the same spot. How could you judge? So it's like the people that are being persecuted. He's basically saying like if it works out in America, or if it doesn't, you might as well just go over there and try, because you're going to be persecuted over there, like in Europe, but you never know what could happen in America. It could go out, could turn out really. So the next song is called Apple Pie, and it's really about Travis Scott like making his own recipe, his own apple pie. It's like instead of just using his mom's, like doing what his mom told him to do, he's trying to like be his own self. And so it says, "Won't you and your friends come eat with me and let me show you how to whip that recipe?" So it's like could be like the different groups in America, like inviting other groups to kind of like show them their traditions, and because they have to work together. And then it says que sera, que sera. So the story goes on and on, back and forth, the evolution, the absolute. Que sera means what's meant to be will be, and so they're like, well, is it meant to be? And then the evolution's absolute because it's like up and down, back and forth. But they're definitely evolving. And then it says, wouldn't hesitate to shoot, though he'd rather not. So like they don't want to like get into a war, but if Britain's gonna keep like taxing them and stuff, then they wouldn't be afraid of it. And then they've forever been the elephant in the room that everyone can't wait to run and tell about. So like everyone's talking about them because, of course, a new country, a new nation's beginning. The head of the belligerent military group, so they're kind of like the leaders. So like if they have the choice whether or not to like kind of rebel, so but which they do. So they're kind of like the head, they're the mind, they control whether there's a war or not. And so, and then it says, decide to cross those little guys, you've obviously been ill-advised, because they're like the little ones, they're like the little people, like we should be able to beat them easily, is kind of like Britain's mentality to it, but you've been ill-advised, yet and still the question remains, or the question arises to the mind, will he make it? Was it worth it? Did he win? Will he survive the rodeo? So it's like, but even if the Americans or the people in the New World win, it's still, there's a question of like, was it really worth it? Like, will they really make it in the end? Did they really win? And will they survive this like rodeo, which is like just a crazy time and a kind of a hectic situation, environment to be in? And it's just like, will they make it? Will they be able to make this new nation a reality? So that's it. That's all I have. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed researching it. And yeah.